pop up and go like very frequently, so like it'll be a hassle. Like, we ain't doing that. We're probably live. I'm not sure. There we go. We're definitely live now because the big box says you're live. 100% of our live streams start with me saying, I don't know if we're live yet, but I think we're there. I think it's up on my phone. I'm not sure. But everyone from the YouTube world that is here today, we are going to go through this play I wrote called the Untitled Paranormal Play because it actually isn't titled and the sun is shining in my face. But yeah, I don't have much to say. There's not much to set it up. It's kind of a see it to believe it type thing. So, yeah. If you look around my Brady Bunch squares, you should recognize Sarah. She is an dramaturg here, and she did a lot of weird research on paranormal stuff and ley lines and ghosts and Ouija boards and basically everything that I asked at 9 a.m. She would look up. And then we have our 4 wonderful actors here. And yeah, that's all I have to say. But those that are at home that are unfamiliar with how this works, we'll read through the entire play first. And then at the end, we will kind of talk about what's working, what's not working, characters, plot, ending, whatever. And you at home, if you want to join in, YouTube has this great comment section, pops it right up on my screen. I'll be able to ask those out, and we can talk about those and answer those questions as well. Yeah. So do you guys want to get started?
First, before we start reading the play, because Austin's not going to say anything, today is Austin's birthday. So happy birthday, Austin. If you guys are watching, drop a happy birthday comment. I won't make our actors sing happy birthday unless they really want to. Because I'm all for embarrassing Austin live, but that's up to you guys.
They're not saying anything, so
I say we do it.
We do it? I mean, I'm down for it. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Austin. Happy birthday to you.
That is difficult when you're live. Everybody's.
So that was really hard, but I think you got it.
Yeah, it was. Alex said, you can just end the stream and then restart it again when they're done. Anywho.
The point is, we still sang it, so.
You did. It was very prominent. But anywho, let's get started. I'm going to read scene titles and any stage directions that are there. And we'll get started. So, we're in Indianapolis, Indiana, in 2018. First scene is called Rehab. Storm and Oscar are sitting inside the small studio apartment. The tension is a little high.
You could have died.
But I didn't, so can we just drop it?
I worry about you all the time. You know that, right?
I don't know why you are so worried. I am fine.
You just got a fucking rehab. I mean, are you serious?
Exactly. I got out of rehab. I am all better.
You were laying on the floor, barely breathing. And Harlow.
That's because she was scared. Wouldn't you be scared if your best friend was overdosing in the bathroom?
Storm starts to bring Oscar closer to him. He isn't able to because Oscar pushes him away.
I still love you.
Oh, my drug problem was going to be the deal breaker. I don't want to keep you here if you were going to leave.
That is not what I meant.
What did you mean exactly? Is being me too emotionally draining? Was it something that you have never signed up for? Something that no one told you about in school?
Oscar, I didn't.
Storm tries to bring him closer again, and Oscar still pushes him away.
Don't touch me.
Can we talk about this?
What is there to talk about? You only love me now because I almost died. I know you were flirting with that new intern at work. I am not dumb. You come back from work happy all the time.
I am not flirting with anyone. Why do you always try to create the worst situation for everything?
Because my life is constantly the worst it could be.
I'm sorry that I make you feel this way. I can leave for a little bit if you want me to.
Storm starts to get up to leave, but Oscar reaches out to grab his arm.
Okay.
When I was dying, I felt like I had been there before. Like I had almost died before. It was a weird feeling. It was almost like I was having an out-of-body experience.
Did you want to talk about rehab at all?
They put me on some meds because apparently I was severely depressed.
That's good.
I guess. It seemed to stop my headaches and that loud mess of inner chatter.
Did you do anything while you were there?
I watched Paranormal Lockdown on repeat the entire time.
Sounds exciting.
Exhilarating.
I love you.
You can be a dick sometimes.
I deserve that.
And you need to listen better.
Noted.
We should do some therapy together.
Agreed.
And I love you too.
Next scene. By myself. Oscar is alone in the studio apartment. He is pacing the room. We see his pill bottle on the counter.
Screw this.
Oscar plops down on his bed. He picks up his phone and throws it back down again.
I should call them.
He heads over to the kitchen area and picks up the bottle of pills.
I could text them at least.
He heads back to the bed. He sits down and looks at the bottle.
I could just skip a dose today. Maybe my brain wouldn't be so foggy.
He puts the pills in the bedside table.
I'm going to send off a text to Harlow and Frankie, see what they're doing tonight.
He picks up his phone, and we can see him texting. You can either project this or have him read it out loud. If you would like him to read a text, it would be, "Hey friends, I'm back and ready to go. What are you up to?" End scene. Ouija board. Oscar is sitting with several of his friends in the back room of the grocery store that they all work at. He is surrounded by two girls that look like polar opposites of each other. Frankie looks like she's a lot of fun, but can mean business in her studies, and Harlow is the preppy girl. You wouldn't expect the three of them to be friends, but it is how it is. They're all holding whiteboards and sitting around a table. Oscar is about to present the list.
Okay, number 3, the straight boy. The straight boy is a wild creature because he's just curious. I mean, he's going to end up with a woman, but he just wants to adventure. Hot. It's wrong, but that's why it's hot. Number 2, the sexy European guy in my apartment complex. His name was Alejandro. Let me tell you, he had an 8-pack, he had a sexy accent, and boy, did he eat ass. Ugh. Number 1, mean, self-entitled, brown hair, blue-eyed fuckboy. Preferably the ones who wear their hat backwards. Ugh, yes. Please.
You won this round. Can you introduce me to Alejandro, though?
He's gay, but you know him already. He lives down the hall. He brought that package to the door when we were drunk messing with that Ouija board.
Shit, he was hot. He ate your ass?
Well, let's change the subject. Do you guys still want to go ghost hunting this weekend?
My parents are out of town, so I'm going to be looking for anything to do that doesn't involve sitting around at home.
Oscar, you down?
Where did you want to go?
Paul Ruster Memorial Park?
Apparently, a little boy was killed beside the train tracks.
And he can be found playing the harmonica.
Sure, I guess. Storm is out of town for business, and I'm just going to be chilling.
You're still dating Storm.
We were taking a break, and that was when I messed around with Alejandro, but we are back together. It's complicated.
Whatever, love is tricky.
Did I miss something? When did you become the love doctor?
All pay attention to the cameras.
You know that there's never anyone in the store this late at night.
Then how do you explain home dude in aisle 3 with his hood up?
There's no one in aisle 3.
He was right there.
There's no one there. Rewind the tape.
Oscar starts to rewind the tape for the camera shooting down aisle 3.
See? No one there.
There was definitely someone there.
How much have you been smoking today?
I don't smoke at work.
Liar.
We should go check it out.
There isn't anyone there, but whatever. Let's go.
I would just go by myself. Y'all watch the cameras.
Oscar leaves the stage, and he can be seen on the camera screen that will be projected onto the back of the stage. He is seen going down aisle 3. He looks around, and there's no one there. The girls watch the chips fall off the shelf. Oscar jumps and heads back onto the stage.
Jesus fucking Christ, did you guys see that?
It was kind of hard to miss.
What happened?
I got a headache out of nowhere, and when I turned around, they just started to crash to the ground.
Someone will need to clean that up.
Let's go together.
I will stay here.
The girls leave the stage, and Oscar is alone. He can be seen holding his head as he is nursing a headache. Blackout. Upstate New York. The stage looks very similar to the previous scene, but we are in Oscar's apartment. The table is switched out for a couch.
Are you sure you still want to go?
I mean, I don't see why not. It isn't like anything is actually going to happen.
We never find anything. No apparitions, no orbs, no EVPs.
We are literally the world's worst ghost hunters.
Ghost hunters? That's what you're calling yourselves?
You know we're not alone in this world.
Remember the grocery store?
How could I forget?
When does Storm get back into town?
Sunday night, he apparently had to stay longer than he planned, and that pushed back his flight.
Where was he anyway?
Buffalo?
Upstate New York is haunted.
Isn't everywhere a little haunted?
Totally.
Oscar, I think you need a night out on the town to loosen up a little bit.
Don't really think I'm in the mood to go out and dance the night away.
We can pop some pills, drink a little, make out with random people. You know, all the things you love.
Only if Frankie comes this time.
You know I'm not a big party person.
It'll be fun. I mean, you don't have to drink.
2 hours, tops.
I think 2 hours will be enough.
Harlow pulls a bottle of pills out of her purse and hands it to Oscar.
Take 2, and you should loosen up in a moment.
Hand me something to drink real quick.
Harlow pulls the tequila from her purse.
This should do the trick.
You carry tequila in your bag.
You never know when you're going to need it.
We all knew Harlow was a drunk.
That is why you love me.
Let's go.
Wait, Oscar, your phone's ringing.
Oscar looks at his phone for a second before answering.
Hey, babe.
Oscar walks around the stage mumbling to each other himself. Harlow and Frankie start to pull an outfit together for Oscar. They pull something eclectic, but it should match. Oscar is wearing a boring uniform. The girls never wear their uniforms in the first place.
We should get going.
Babe, I love you, but I'm going out with Harlow and Frankie. Talk to you later.
Where are we going anyway?
Zoni's closet?
They probably have a drag show.
I love drag shows.
That sounds good to me.
Blackout. Middle of the road. Oscar, Frankie, and Harlow are sitting on the curb outside of the bar. We should hear the thump and beat of the music in the bar. Oscar and Harlow are extremely drunk. Frankly, Frankie is getting them an Uber.
I am so fucked up.
You are fine. We are fine. Everything is fine.
Y'all are drunk.
I am not drunk. I am high as fuck, though.
I mean, like, that is any better.
I think Harlow is asleep.
Good. She might be better off sleeping while we wait.
I see dead people.
You must really be high.
I mean, I think I see dead people.
What's wrong?
I always seem to see things that aren't there. I thought that I might be going crazy, but like, when we go ghost hunting, I always feel like we're being watched. And you guys just sit there and don't feel anything. And sometimes I get words whispered in my ear and y'all are like, there ain't nothing here, so let's move on to the next location. And then I get scared and have to deal with the nightmares from some of the shit I see. I think I'm too high to function right now. Am I talking fast?
I think you're having a panic attack. Everything is fine. Your brain's just playing tricks on you.
Maybe.
Close your eyes.
Why?
Just do it.
Okay.
What do you see?
I see a girl, maybe 20-something, standing in the middle of the road. We're making eye contact. She seems to want to tell me something, but is waiting patiently like it isn't the right time. She knows, I know she is there, but it's almost like she's guarding me from something.
I didn't actually expect you to say something. I was expecting some like smart ass answer like normal.
I've seen her before. I think she was one of the ghost walking tours we took last summer. She looks real familiar.
Well, Harlow and I are here for you.
Is that Uber almost here? I need to get some sleep.
Blackout. Storm arrives. Oscar is sitting by himself on his bed. He has a mirror in front of him. He is staring at himself in the mirror.
You are an important member of society. You are an important part of your friend group. You are important to your boyfriend. You are important to your family. I will not make the same mistakes as my ancestors. I will be a better person than I was yesterday. I will continue growing.
We hear a thud from somewhere off stage. Oscar jolts from his attention towards the sound.
I am something. I am worth something.
Oscar pauses. His face turns quizzical as if he saw something in the mirror. We hear footsteps coming towards him, but we don't see anything.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
The atmosphere of the room changes. We notice that Oscar is feeling more displeased with the space he is in.
I am not afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. You are not allowed to hurt me. No one gave you permission to be in here.
We hear the footsteps again, but this time it is Storm sneaking up on his boyfriend. Oscar has his eyes closed.
I told you that I am not scared.
Storm reaches out and grabs Oscar. He shrieks and jumps. Storm starts to laugh.
Oh, fuck you.
I love you too.
Blackout. Teaching again. Storm and Oscar are sitting in their kitchen. Storm is pulling things out of his suitcase onto their counter.
I have to leave again tomorrow morning. This time just an hour south if you wanted to come with me.
It's okay. Harlow and Frankie want to go ghost hunting tomorrow night, so I promised them that I would go.
Did you want to go ghost hunting? I just scared the hell out of you just by coming into the apartment.
I don't really want to go, but they said it'll be fun. And you know that I can't say no to those girls.
Okay. It is supposed to rain tomorrow night, so make sure you take an umbrella.
When are you done traveling?
This is my last trip for a little bit. And we can certainly go somewhere together, get away from all of this for a few days.
Storm leaves over to kiss Oscar. Oscar is tense in the moment, but he goes with it.
It would be nice to get away for a little bit before the semester starts up again.
Ah, you pooping again?
Oscar gets tense again. He's not making eye contact with Storm.
I guess.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I don't believe you.
I don't want you to go.
I have to. Let's draw a bath and just relax for a little bit together. Does that sound good?
Okay.
End scene. Give me 10. Oscar wakes up to find that Storm is no longer in the room. Oscar is alone, but doesn't feel like it.
Hello? Is anyone there? Storm?
There is no answer. Oscar gets out of bed to start investigating. He doesn't see anything and decides to sit at the bar stool as the house phone rings.
Frankie, why didn't you call my cell phone?
How do you know it was me?
You said your name when I answered.
No, I didn't.
I am sure that you did.
Whatever. Harlow wants to get lunch.
Lunch? It's like 9 a.m.
It's noon, dude.
I must have slept in. Apparently my alarm didn't go off.
I tried to call your cell, but it must be dead.
Oh, okay, give me 10 minutes and I'll be ready.
Harlow and I are in the car. Leave the door open and we'll come up.
Sounds good.
Oscar goes to unlock the door, turns around to head towards the bathroom, offstage. He hears the door open real quick, but when he turns around, he just sees the empty apartment. There is no one there. He's a little shaken, but just closes the door. Frankie and Harlow are knocking on the door. Oscar runs out of the bathroom in his towel to unlock the door.
We told you to unlock the door.
I thought I did.
Go get ready.
Oscar leaves the stage again. Frankie and Harlow sit on the stools.
He's off.
He has that glow and stupid look on his face after he gets dick down.
Alejandro?
I hope so. Oscar needed to get laid. He was starting to become a prude.
You know, I can hear you.
We know.
Oscar comes out of the bathroom dressed in a similar outfit but with a different shirt.
And it wasn't Alejandro, it was Storm.
Storm was here last night.
I thought you stopped sleeping with Storm.
He is my boyfriend. I mean, he came home, scared the hell out of me, and then he's all sweet.
I mean, Storm does have irresistible eyes.
For sure. He drew us a bath, and then he started to massage my back.
And one thing led to another.
It was some of the best sex that I have had in a while.
Love that glowing look on you, though.
Oscar starts to blush.
Where are we going for lunch?
Three Sisters Cafe in Broad Ripple.
Why do you guys always pick the old buildings?
Shut up, let's go.
End of scene. Knocking. The future is uncertain at this point. We are back at the studio apartment. Oscar is alone. Harlow and Frankie arrive shortly, but not before we hear knocks around the stage. Oscar is just sitting on his bed with his headphones on. He is jamming out to some music, but the audience is unaware of what it is. They just see him moving around on the bed as he is looking down at a book.
Come in, it's open.
Frankie and Harlow enter the apartment.
How did you know we were here?
You knock.
No, we didn't.
Fuck off, you did.
Positive, we literally just got to the door.
When are we leaving?
5 minutes. What you reading?
Nothing important, just preparing for the semester.
What the fuck are you even teaching?
Oscar starts to get up from the bed to get ready to leave for the ghost hunting trip his friends had planned. Harlow picks up the book.
Critical theory today. Bullshit.
Do you know what that means? I know you barely finished high school.
You are right, but still a bitch.
Love you.
Oscar, are you really this smart?
Nope, I just know how to read.
Also,
Who's driving?
Harlow raises her hand.
I guess we all about to be ghosts then.
End scene. I don't know why there's an extra page in my script. Paul Ruster Memorial Park. We are at the park. Oscar is lagging behind his friends. They are trying to listen for the boy playing the harmonica.
Are we done yet?
you need to listen closely to hear the harmonica with your own ears.
We are rolling on this tape recorder too, just to see if anything wants to talk with us.
Oscar has never seen his friends this into something before. He decides to appease them for a little while longer.
Can we play back the recorder to see if we got anything?
Harlow hunkers down and starts to rewind the digital tape recorder.
It'd be pretty cool if we got an EVP.
Have you got one before?
Nope.
Harlow plays the recording back and there are no voices on it. Oscar takes the recorder from her.
Let me try.
Oscar hits record and closes his eyes.
Why are you closing your eyes?
Imagine what we're looking for.
Whatever. If you aren't going to take this seriously...
Shh. Let's see if this works.
Is there anyone here that wants to talk with us?
There's a beat between each question, giving enough time for someone to answer if they wished.
Are you stuck here? How did you die? Can you play us some music?
Oscar hits stop on the recorder. He rewinds it and hands it back to Harlow.
Ghosts usually only say single word answers and they don't always make sense.
I doubt we got anything, though.
Why don't you play it back?
The recording plays back. We hear Oscar's first question. Is there anyone here that wants to talk with us? And then the trio hear a subtle yes.
Holy shit. Did that just fucking say yes?
I think so. Play it back.
Harlow quickly rewinds the recorder and we hear Oscar's first question. And the trio again hear a subtle yes.
We fucking did. We fucking got an EVP.
Look at you go, Oscar. It must like you.
Beginner's luck, I guess.
Harlow lets the recorder continue to play and we hear Oscar's second question. Are you stuck here? And the trio hear a subtle no.
It just answered 2 questions in a row. You have the magic touch.
It's nothing. That easily could be interference from like a cell phone or something.
Let's keep listening.
The recorder starts to play again. We hear how did you die? And then a subtle murder.
It said murder. It totally just said murder.
Replay it.
Harlow replays the recorder. We hear how did you die? And then a subtle murder.
Damn, wasn't that little boy killed by the train tracks?
Right? Oscar, are you talking directly with this little boy? You are.
He must like you.
We will see. I asked one more question.
The recorder starts to play again, and we hear the final question that Oscar asked. Can you play us some music? And a subtle listen.
It just said, listen, I hear that one for sure.
Want to hang around a little longer?
Let's split up and see if we find something.
Ending. Harmonica. Oscar is separated from his friends. He is the only one on the stage. He is set to the end of the park closest to the railroad tracks.
I don't know why we had to split up. Storm was right. I was freaking out already. I don't know what I'm supposed to even be doing.
Oscar decides to just sit and be quiet. The stage is quiet for a few moments.
Is there anyone there?
Oscar starts to look around. He starts to hear the thunder in the distance.
I am listening, but I haven't heard any music yet.
Oscar starts to get up and hears a subtle but noticeable harmonica sound. He starts to act scared.
There you are. Can you go play for Harlow and Frankie?
Oscar sees a blue light travel across the stage. It appears to be going towards the direction of the girls. He decides to follow it.
Frankie! Harlow!
Find anything on your end?
I heard the harmonica.
No, you didn't.
Fucking liar.
Clear your mind and listen.
The girls close their eyes and open themselves up. The harmonica sound starts to come back again.
Keep playing, John.
I can actually hear it.
The girls are super impressed with what they are hearing. They are paying more attention to the music until it suddenly stops.
Wait a minute. Did you name him?
People believe that his name is John. Isn't that what you said, Frankie?
I never said that, but okay.
Let's get out of here. I think it's about to rain anyway.
End scene. Raging storm. Oscar is sitting alone in the apartment. He is waiting for Storm to arrive, but talking on the phone to Harlow.
Oh, God. Harlow, that sounds terrible.
We are only hearing Oscar's side of the conversation.
Storm should be home soon. Actually, I think I hear his keys jingling at the door. He's better than before. We've actually taken time to go over stuff. Yeah. I'll talk to you later.
Storm comes in, juggling his keys and suitcase. He is just looking at Oscar.
Who are you talking to?
It was just Harlow. She was telling me an accident. She was telling me about an accident on the highway.
I thought we talked about this.
I can choose who my own friends are.
I'm not saying you can't, but I mean...
What do you mean?
Do you remember what your therapist said?
She told me to get out and do stuff, not live in the same boring bubble that I feel comfortable in.
And?
To continue pushing out of my introverted nature.
I'm just worried about you.
I am not a child.
I'm not saying that you're a child. I'm just saying that you're not thinking rationally.
What's there to think about? Harlow and Frankie are there for me no matter what. They are here for me even when you are miles away.
You know what I mean. I am just as concerned with you since I am gone all the time.
You don't have to worry about me.
I know that I don't, but I love you, and that is part of the package deal here. How can I not worry about you and love you at the same time? I don't ask for much from you, but I am going to ask you to listen to me for a second. I will always be there for you.
Then you are going to have to be okay with my friends.
I never said that I wasn't a fan of them. I just said that I think you should take a step back and think about it.
There isn't anything to think about.
Storm takes a moment to regain his composure. He takes a look at Oscar and just lets out a sigh. He hugs him without thinking. Oscar flinches a little bit.
Sorry. We should talk about it when you're ready, though.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm taking a position closer to here, so I won't travel as much.
That is a good start.
Do you want me to run you a bath?
You are parenting me.
Storm looks over at Oscar and gives him a half grin. Oscar smiles back and starts running towards the bathroom. Storm shortly follows after. They are giggling. The relationship is stable. End scene. Frankie. Frankie and Oscar are sitting in the back room of the grocery store. She is flipping through pictures on her phone to show Oscar something from the other night.
You are glowing today. I assume things went well with Storm last night.
He was sweet. We did get into an argument about the whole talking to Harlow again thing, but other than that, it was a good time.
I mean, we both understand why, though, right?
Don't you do this too?
I love her too, so don't get me wrong. But you almost died.
She didn't mean to leave me alone. She was just scared.
I know, but I can see why Storm is worried about you.
I stopped doing drugs.
You literally popped pills the other night.
I don't do the hard stuff anymore.
The hard stuff.
Yeah, I only smoke weed, pot pills, and occasional cocaine.
Cocaine.
Once at Harlow's party the other weekend.
Do you see why Storm is mad now?
Still don't think it's a big deal. You guys are all I have.
That's cute, but he's still got a point.
You got a new position closer to the apartment, so they won't have to travel as much.
Changing the topic, but okay. Just be careful.
I will.
End scene. Harlow. Oscar and Harlow are in Oscar's apartment. Harlow is crushing something in a grinder. We are unsure what it is until she starts rolling the blunt.
I always knew Storm didn't like me.
He likes you.
He's always talking shit.
He means well, but he cares a little too much sometimes.
Dude, he told you we can't be friends. That doesn't sound like he cares. It sounds like he's trying to be controlling.
He's just a man.
Trying to fix things out of his control. Have you seen Alejandro lately?
I am in a relationship with Storm, girl. I'm trying to make that work. He's sweeter now and isn't afraid to show that he cares anymore. I would say that's a win-win for me.
But Alejandro ate your ass.
Storm eats my ass too.
For some reason, I thought that that was a good arguing point, but I can see now that I was obviously wrong.
Are you gonna pass the blunt?
Why are you always changing the subject?
I'm tired of you always bashing Storm.
He deserves it sometimes.
Let's talk about the ghost from the park.
Were you able to get the files on your computer?
Yeah, they were a little hazier than on the recorder. It was like there was some electromagnetic interference.
Electromagnetic interference? That's a sciencey word for you.
Frankie told me about it, and I know big words.
I never said you didn't know big words. I was just saying that it was a science word.
Should we go meet Frankie soon?
Why are we meeting Frankie?
She wanted to go over the next ghost adventure.
You want to come?
She thinks I might be sensitive to this kind of thing, like how I was able to talk to that little boy when you guys couldn't.
I was just thinking that. You have been acting strange lately.
She said come to the grocery store. She would be in the back room.
End scene. The meeting. Frankie, Harlow, and Oscar are in the back room of the grocery store. They're staring at the computer screen again. Frankie is flipping through her notebook looking for something that she had written earlier in her shift.
A number of paradigms try to explain the paranormal, but this is the one that most relates to the thing I think you're experiencing. It's called spirit hypnosis. And basically, every human has a unique and internal soul that survives the human body after death, and these paranormal events are caused by spirits or supernatural factors. So I think that you might be a medium, like you're just more sensitive to spirit energy. You have been the only thing different in any of our investigations, and it would make sense for sure.
That was a lot of words. Could you go again?
Oscar's a medium because he draws spirits to him without knowing.
See, that I understood.
Yeah.
So I can see dead people.
Have you seen any ghosts, like, in person?
No, I've only ever heard the boy, so I thought.
Fucking weird.
We should go back to the park to see if we can see the little boy.
Sounds good to me.
I have the video camera in the car and we can shoot some footage this time. Oscar, you think you can manage that?
Sweet, I am ready this time.
End scene. Paul Ruster Memorial Park, Part 2. Harlow, Oscar, and Frankie are in the same spot where they originally heard the harmonica play. Oscar is shooting on the video camera, and Harlow and Frankie are walking in front of him.
I can see you both in the camera now. I was down this way when I saw him last time.
This way.
Hey, John, can you play your harmonica for us again?
We loved it the first time. We think you are really talented.
You can play the same song as last time, if you can still remember it.
Oscar starts to hum the same song from the earlier park scene. We hear the little boy play the harmonica again. It is louder this time. Harlow and Frankie both hear it first, and then Oscar can hear it, see it, something.
Hey, buddy, do you need help to cross over?
Knock once for yes and twice for no.
I read somewhere that when children die, they're often confused, and when they cross over, they're looking for their parents, and when they can't find them, they come back and wonder.
You seem to be doing a lot of research.
I haven't been able to sleep.
Oscar moves closer to where the harmonica is playing. He places the recorder down and goes closer to the sound. He sees a little orb of light.
It's okay to move to the other side. Everyone is fine here. There's no one to look after anymore. You're all grown up. I bet you have some loved ones that are missing you from the other side.
Oscar sees the blue light disappear and the stage gets darker around him. We see an individual light on him.
It seems like the spirit has left. I think we did it.
The light comes back up and it appears that Oscar is alone on stage. He looks around for his friends. He just assumes that they left him.
Fucking bitches.
Oscar picks up the camera and heads back to the car. End of scene. New scene. Calm after the storm. Storm and Oscar are sitting on their bed. Oscar is visibly shaken up. It is right after a therapy session. We find out that Oscar hasn't been taking his meds, and this is the discussion that follows that meeting.
I told you that I was here for you.
Storm cradles Oscar.
You could have told me.
You knew.
I didn't know anything for sure, but when I found out you stopped taking your meds, I was concerned.
She said I was depressed.
I would be depressed too if I had to experience all that within a week.
I am not sure that you understand.
I absolutely don't understand. Do you want to explain it to me? I will just listen.
Can you hold me tighter?
Storm pulls him in tighter. Oscar starts to talk through the tears.
When you found me dying in the kitchen after I took a bad batch of whatever the fuck Harlow brought over, the college showed me to take a semester off. I did that.
Oscar takes a deep breath.
I think they told me to take the time off because of the rehab program that I went into, but
Oh, that's you.
Take your time.
but the rehab center also sort of come to terms with how Harlow dying that night. I knew that she was dead when I was in the hospital room. I knew she was dead when I went ghost hunting, but the meds blocked her out for me, and I needed someone when you were gone.
I love you. And I want to help you. So let's continue.
Frankie was supposed to pick me up from the hospital after the overdose because you were out of town. She never showed up. I took an Uber, and then you came home. You looked sad. You didn't tell me why, but you gave me a big hug.
You always like my hugs.
I found out the next day from Facebook that the grocery store had been robbed at gunpoint. Frankie was stalking aisle 3 when the guy put a gun to her head. She put up a fight and knocked over a bunch of shit over.
Storm pulls him even closer to him.
And he pulled the trigger.
End of play. Okay, guys, we've made it through, and I'm only a little sad now. Yeah, thank you guys for
Fucked up way to go.
I just want to start off by just going over just a few things real quick. So, in order to write this play, I made Sarah do a lot of like research, but I took a like 50-hour class in parapsychology, which is like the study of like mediumship and other like weird things. Going with that, that long spiel that Harlow doesn't understand, Frankie's like supernatural spirit, blah blah blah, whatever. She's like a number of paradigms try to explain. Like that's straight out of a parapsychology textbook. And I figured since Frankie's smart, that would make sense. And these are things that I want you guys to talk about after I'm done explaining, see if they make sense or they need to be tweaked a little bit. The next thing is when Oscar knows that Frankie's calling and they know that Harlow and Frankie are out the door. That is an actual like Yale medical study on mediums about knowing who's calling before they call, like before caller ID was a thing. They'd be like, you have 5 friends and 2 of them are gonna call. So when the phone rings, you tell us who it is, and then they were like able to like test the authenticity of like mediums who were like charging money for like readings. But there's a cool website if you want to do it where it like sends a text message to like 3 of your friends. Send me a text, and then one of those text messages come through and you have to guess who it's from. So that's cool. But the third and final thing, is when they're at the bar and he is at the and he's like outside talking to Frankie, and he's like, I see this girl in the middle of the street in her 20s. That's supposed to be Harlow, but I don't think it comes across as being Harlow yet.
Gotcha.
That's the part that I think needs to be developed myself, but it's supposed to be Harlow, kind of warning him, but not warning him at the same time, like, because like, obviously he sees dead people, but, oh, I lied, and there's actually like a 4th thing. So when Oscar is helping the little boy cross over, he's actually helping Harlow and Frankie cross over, which is why they disappear. So those are the 4 things, and I can explain them again. But let's start number 4 and work our way back. So did that work for you guys? Like, did you like figure out that they weren't there anymore because like something happened, or?
No, I definitely thought they were in the car.
Me too.
I think it makes sense once you realize that they're dead. Like once you realize that Harlow and Frankie have not been there the entire show, and then you think about what he was saying, like there's no one here for you to take care of. There's no reason for you to be here. Then I think it makes sense. But otherwise, like in the moment, it's just like, oh no, they just fucking left him, you know, to figure things out by himself. Like, oh, they got scared and like they ran off.
Also the way it's set up, it's very comedy-like because it kind of gets a little dense right there, talking to this little boy, and then all of a sudden he's like, fucking bitch. It just
He's
kind of
like, fuck you guys. You left me here alone. It's fine.
This last time reading it, I like reading it out loud, I got that, but every other time I hadn't clicked them together.
So every friendship/relationship I've ever had with a gay man, I have put them to one person, which is Oscar. Every gay man in my life is Oscar. Like different.
With a little bit of you because you're a teacher.
A little bit of me, but some of the dumb shit Oscar says is some of the dumb shit that's been said to me. Like the seems the hard stuff. Like my one friend was like, yeah, cocaine, like it's not that big of a drug, and I was like, fucking stupid. Like,
a little bit crazy.
So we pull I laughed a lot in this because I pulled a lot of real life conversations in. And but yeah, so the second thing, I don't even know what I said. I know. Do you guys have anything to say before I just keep talking? Good. Thanks. I tried to make it serious and funny at the same time. Because they are in their 20s and you joke around a lot with your friends. So yeah, so the only character I feel that doesn't show up enough to make sense is actually Storm.
Oh, do you think?
It's because he's never home.
But the scenes where Storm are Storm scenes have his name in them.
It definitely is one of those things that when you sit and think about it, they all start making sense. Him taking his meds is calling on Frankie and Harlow without actually picking up the phone. It's I love stuff like this. It's just one of those things that you have to simmer on.
Yeah, well, this is one of those things where after I read Austin's script, he was like, "Hey, I had this epiphany. Oh my God, Harlow and Frankie are dead." And I was like, "What? No!" And then I went back through these different scenes, and I was like, "Holy shit!" The scene with the grocery store, and how that.
No. What had happened was I casted all of you. I hadn't even finished writing the play yet.
That's also true.
And I was like, how am I gonna make this work for what I want? And then I called Sarah and I was like, Sarah, writing this before I knew how it was gonna end, but I had this aha moment where I was like, what if his friends are dead and he's picking up on them? Because he is kind of a medium, and then that explains why he would pick something up on the recorder. He's alive, talking to the ghost. Why he would be the one with the video camera, not Frankie and Harlow. I keep calling you Franklo, or
we ship Frankie and Harlow.
I ship you guys in my head, and I don't know why. You're just there together.
Franklo.
Franklo.
But also I only used the word fuck 15 times, which is very low for me. So I'm really proud of that. How do you guys like Storm and Oscar's relationship?
I'm a little confused by it, to be honest with you. It makes sense, yes, but they fight more than they've actually ever are happy together. So why are they still together? Is it only because the overdose situation and Storm doesn't want to leave? It's just a little bit why?
Which also Oscar's picking up on. Oscar's are you just sticking around just because I'm a fucking addict? No.
No. Well, and I also think a bit part of it playing into that is that in that last scene, Oscar's Frankie was supposed to pick me up because you weren't here. You were gone again. And then she didn't, I had to get an Uber after I got out of rehab because she didn't show up. So that whole guilt factor. So while their relationship is really weird and doesn't really make sense, I feel a lot of it is he feels guilty because he's constantly gone all the time. And so that's why we don't really see Storm get too upset. Like he gets frustrated, and you can tell that he's frustrated with Oscar, especially because, you know, he's having conversations with dead people. But he's still like, it's okay, I love you, I'm here for you, can we talk about this? Like, he's trying really, really hard. And I think a lot of it is like he feels guilty because he was never home and his boyfriend almost fucking died.
I think when it comes to stage, it's easier to like, because I think when a play starts, it comes from a moment of stasis. You know, like there's been great moments, but I think that we are in the thick of like Storm and Oscar's like, you know, like right where it is the worst of it. So it's like, but like, how can we maybe get more more an idea of how loving they can be towards each other? Because there's a moment where the stage direction says, the relation's stable again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's automatically like assume that it would be, you know what I mean? Like after like a giggle, but it also like, what about the relationship can depict that that's stable? You know what I mean? That like they are good again and not just like some like, they're good for now.
Yeah. I think also with the stage directions with like scenes where Storm and Oscar are together, like Oscar reaches out to like, or when Storm reaches out to like touch Oscar and he flinches away. And like,
Yeah.
so like it's a very toxic relationship as it's written right now. Like, I'm not gonna say it's not toxic relationship. Like, it is definitely like an MTV reality TV show toxic. Like,
But this also means that, like, going with what Brittany was just saying about showing more, like Austin said in the beginning of this, like, I read this and was like, dude, this would make a really awesome, like, novel or a novella. Like, I want to take that on. So being able to then have, like, for me and Austin to sit down later and be like, okay, so what were they like before Oscar OD'd? Like, I can work with that. Like, how were they before?
And like, how long has he been around? Like, has Oscar always been like this? Did he get bad once they started dating? Like, what?
Yeah,
I think
like,
this just means we want more Storm.
Yeah,
just
like,
need more of them.
What did Storm do to Oscar to make him be like, no? Because you also have to wonder, like, Harlow, Frankie, and Oscar have been friends for forever, but Oscar doesn't always seem like he's into what Harlow and Frankie want to do, or at least what Harlow wants to do, because she's very much like, let's go party, let's go do this, and he's like, yeah, okay. So like, was he always that way? Like, or did something happen in his relationship with Storm where he was like, yeah, I'm gonna go, you know, get wasted and, you know, take whatever drugs Harlow gives me? Like, that was that kind of tension there before Oscar overdosed?
Kind of like a following of that. That's interesting because there always is a leader of a group, isn't there? And it's like, in terms of like the three of us, who's the leader of, like, I think just as a whole, like, I have the brains and Harlow has the partying. So what does Oscar have other than to follow?
The pretty face.
Pretty,
but that's another thing that like I think is really easy to remember. Like, I think just like with gay men as a whole, like when they have friends who are all predominantly female, they can get caught up in that and kind of lose. Like, I have a couple friends that like they spend a lot of their time trying to be friends with people because they thought it would make them cooler or make them more open, you know? And it's like, nah, you just got to be yourself. And then those friends will come to you. But like, also like Harlow and Frankie are good friends, but like,
Harlow's a little, she's a little something.
yeah,
She's a little much.
Harlow's a lot. But I also, like, I felt it was important to include the Frankie being like, well, do you see why Storm might have a problem with that? Like, like, I mean, so like it does put up with like the Frankie, Harlow, and Oscar are great friends. Like, they have a trio, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, Oscar just gets lost in that, and like he has stuff to offer, but like,
right.
like being the gay friend is his personality in that trio.
Yeah.
And because his like demeanor shifts when he's alone with each of you. like I feel like he's more open with Harlow, but that's just because like
You could say whatever.
you can say whatever, and then he like changes the subject quite frequently with Frankie. So like it's that exact thing. Like the two, I always develop the female characters a lot more than I do the male characters. Sorry. Um, but like Harlow and Frankie are like people. Like you can be like, oh, I know a Harlow and I know a Frankie, but like Oscar is just like there.
But see, me being like, I know an Oscar. I know a couple of them, not to the extent of ending up in rehab, but it's just kind of like getting lost in the sauce, and then you don't even want to deal with that. Then it's just like, why do I? I'm not gonna.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's for the four of you and the world that will eventually watch this. And because Sarah already knows, but like I wrote on like infectious disease outbreaks and gay culture.
Yeah, I did.
So like exactly what Brittany was saying is that like drugs are an like integrated part of like mass gay culture. So like Oscar doing drugs and ultimately ending with rehab is not a far fetched like reality. Because I think in the script I put Oscar at like 25, but like 20 to 25, like you're finding out who you are, you went to college, you're meeting new people. So like you're making a lot of mistakes in your 20s. And like gay culture also makes it hard to do some things that you want to do. And like I've seen many people in relationships like Oscars and Storms where it's really toxic and not working, but like gay men sometimes have a fear of not finding love. So once they find a little bit of it, they keep a hold of it. So like I could obviously see Oscar just leaving Storm, but like he works as an adjunct professor and in a grocery store, and he's living in Storm's apartment. Like, he has no place to go. He has no money. His friends are dead.
It just reminds me of like a 1950s housewife who can't divorce her husband because like she doesn't
Oscar is
have
the
anything.
housewife.
Oscar is a 1950s housewife. That is a very good comparison. So like yeah, exactly. Like I tried to put like everything in here is like believable. Like I watched Paranormal Lockdown on repeat in quarantine, so I could figure out the proper way to investigate as a ghost hunter. And a lot of the shit that Frankie says are direct quotes from that show. Or like,
Who's to say Frankie didn't watch that show?
yeah, exactly. Or like Frankie's like when children's spirits die, they usually linger around because they're looking for the parents. Like
Right.
a medium said that in Paranormal Lockdown. Like she was like, "This little boy here, and he's looking for his mom." But yeah, do you guys have anything else to say? Any other things not working for
I
you?
think it's well, I mean, this is positive, but like when I first read it, I just think it's really cool because like my whole thoughts on like paranormal on stage are really interesting, and like this is so doable and believable that like I think when you get it on its feet, like in person, it's going to be great. I think it's just going to be really cool because like I love being spooked, and then being spooked in person. Oh.
Yeah. If you would do like a Google search of like horror slash paranormal plays, you get like 15. 15. And it's like Dracula, Frank.
Right.
And then like The Exorcist has a stage adaptation. Like
I don't know that.
so like you get like
No.
you get like classic horror
No,
on
no,
stage.
Right, but no like
Jekyll and Hyde. Like you get like classic horror, but not like this is like it's shot a little bit, but like it's not like full fledged like I'm a demon coming for your soul, or like
This is
Right.
a show. This is a show that on the stage, people are going to be able to connect to it a lot more than they can the like classic cult horror films. Because this is
Right.
the stuff that my 12-year-old has played with a Ouija board. Like you know, they were with their partner at their birthday party and they were just chilling in my living room playing with a Ouija board. Like, this is the kind of stuff that kids do.
Yeah.
And when you kind of start playing with it and you start watching, like, I remember watching Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures, you know, while doing homework when I was, you know, 14, 15, 16. And so this is the kind of stuff that, like, people do this. They can relate to it. They can relate to getting scared because they heard knocking, you know, in their apartment when they're alone, like that kind of thing. So I think having something contemporary like this is a lot.
I'm gonna agree with Sarah because I'm a scaredy cat at heart, and there was like I staged my house the other week because I'm convinced that there's like some weird mojo in the duplex beside me, and it's like creeping in. So like I staged the whole house, basement to attic, all 4 floors.
You know,
I was not doing it because
Right.
I ain't handling
not doing it.
But yeah. So, is there any other comments, questions, concerns besides what is Osco and Storm? Osco.
Osco and Franklo.
I can't do this anymore. I can't. I try to get names that sound different so that I can say, but apparently that doesn't work all the time. But yeah. I guess if there's no more comments there, I want to go into like the lovely spiel of what's next in the world. So I got my calendar.
It is my
So friends and family, what are we doing here? The next thing in the docket is August 15th. So 2 Saturdays away. We have a master class with Grace Mawat, who was the swing for 6 on the West End. Covered all 6 queens. She's going to be doing a master class of how to prepare musical theater songs. So if you're interested in that, you can definitely sign up. After that, we have on August 22nd, we have a virtual reading of Electra with an all-female cast. And then September 6th is a virtual reading of Fall in Love with Your GBF, which is the second show we did 2 years ago. So September 6th is the 2-year anniversary of opening night, so we have a virtual reading that night. And then the last thing on the docket that I want to talk about today is on September 12th is another masterclass with Project Runway fashion designer Brittany Allen. She is pretty cool. She's getting her PhD in fashion merchandising, and she teaches classes at the Austin School of Art and Design in Austin, Texas. Yeah, that's what's happening next in our lives. So we would love for you to join us for all of those things. And if you have anything to say about this lovely piece of theater, you can always email us. My email is ashay, ASHAY, at pharmacytheater.org. Be happy to talk about it, talk with you, whatever you would like. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out, and I hope y'all enjoy